Nobody expected this moment. Not a diss record, not a surprise album, not even a headline-grabbing outfit. Instead, Nicki Minaj did something far more dangerous. She stood on a public stage, aligned herself with people she once openly mocked, praised a president she once criticized, and then turned her attention toward the most powerful man in hip-hop, Jay-Z. In that moment, everything changed. Because this isn't just celebrity drama, this isn't just another viral rant, this is a power struggle, and it may be the most explosive one hip-hop has seen in decades. To understand why this matters, we have to rewind. Long before the wigs, accents, and alter egos, Nicki Minaj was a theater kid from Queens. She studied acting, attended LaGuardia High School, and dreamed of performing long before rap ever entered the picture. But when she stepped into hip-hop, she was told who to be. Be harder, be tougher, be less animated. That wasn't her. So she created personas, voices, characters, not just as creativity, but as armor. And it worked. Too well. Nicki didn't just succeed, she dominated. And in an industry where power is rarely shared, especially with women, dominance comes at a cost. Behind the scenes, the industry was shifting. Rock Nation was no longer just a label, it became a gatekeeper. Playlists, award shows, brand deals, touring opportunities, and even the biggest stages in entertainment slowly fell under the control of a few powerful players. According to Nicki, once she stopped playing along, the doors didn't slam shut. They simply stopped opening. Then came the tweet that changed everything. Nicki publicly accused Jay-Z of owing her between $100 and $200 million from the title deal. This wasn't vague shade or industry gossip. This was a direct claim, delivered in public, calling it a karmic debt. That choice of words mattered. She wasn't just asking for money, she was implying that the industry's balance sheet was overdue for a reckoning. What made it even more shocking was who responded next. 50 Cent reposted Nicki's rant with a simple caption. I like when she get mad. 5 words, but anyone who understands hip-hop politics knows what that meant. 50 Cent doesn't move randomly. He spent years in quiet wars with the same power structure, the same moguls, the same untouchable figures. When he co-signed Nicki, it wasn't support, it was recognition. He saw someone else willing to challenge the machine. Nicki's anger didn't stop at money. When Lil Wayne was passed over for the Super Bowl halftime show, she exploded publicly. Rock Nation controls the NFL halftime stage, which means they don't just book performers, they control legacy. Nicki accused Jay-Z of using that power to punish Wayne over industry politics. In that moment, this stopped being about personal beef. It became about who decides who gets remembered, who gets erased, and who gets pushed to the sidelines. Behind the scenes of all of this is Desiree Perez, Rock Nation's CEO, a figure Nicki has repeatedly accused of blackballing artists, weaponizing contracts, and silencing opposition. When Nicki suddenly began praising Donald Trump, many people laughed it off. But insiders noticed the timing. Perez received a Trump pardon in 2021, and Nicki doesn't move without calculation. In chess, you don't praise someone connected to your enemy unless you're positioning yourself for something bigger. Now zoom out and look at the timing of everything. Diddy's legal collapse, 50 Cent's documentary pulling back the curtain on hip-hop's elite, lawsuits, accusations, and whispers about financial manipulation and blacklisting. These stories aren't isolated, they form a pattern. And when patterns form, attention shifts. Not from fans, but from lawyers, investigators, and people who follow money instead of headlines. That's why Jay-Z's silence matters. Powerful people don't ignore threats unless they believe responding could make things worse. And right now, the industry feels exposed, vulnerable. Nicki's political shift, her public accusations, and her refusal to stay quiet suggest someone who believes the moment is right. Not for a diss track, but for a disruption. Nicki Minaj isn't just fighting for money, she's challenging a system that decides who gets protected and who gets discarded. She's pushing back against an industry built on quiet compliance and unspoken rules. Whether she wins or loses, one thing is clear. The era of untouchable figures in hip-hop is cracking, and once the cracks show, they only spread. The question now isn't whether this goes further, it's who else decides to speak up once they see that silence is no longer the safest option. If you want to stay ahead of stories like this, break down the real power moves behind the headlines and follow how the music industry is changing in real time. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. More deep dives are coming, and you won't want to miss what happens next.